Welcome, lovebirds, to Love in the Details, a place to celebrate marriage through the beautiful stories of real couples, because love truly lives in the little things. Hello, everybody, lovebirds. Welcome to Love in the Details. And as you know, I love love and everything about it. And I love the fact that you took some time out of your day to hear of another great love story by two friends I actually just met, but their story very impactful, and I wanted to share that with you. And this is Eddie and Joanna. We're ready to dive in.
Yeah.
How you guys doing today?
Doing great,
It's
man.
a beautiful day out here as well.
Yeah, blessed and highly favored to be here with you, man.
Appreciate that. So we'll just get right into it. As far as your beginnings, tell us how you guys met.
Yeah, so you want to do it?
I'll start off. We actually met online back when it wasn't the thing to do.
It was lame.
It was
Nice.
yeah, I honestly I didn't advertise like, hey, I met a guy online, but anyway, I didn't expect to find a relationship.
Right.
I was just in college and bored, and
Mm-hmm.
I was online, and at the time it was I think that during Christmas vacation, and anyway, my long story short, my cousin wanted me to teach her how to chat. She was my younger cousin, and so we were just online, and then I was getting all these kind of messages, and they were not interesting.
Right.
But anyway, someone messaged us and said something different, and he said, "Cute name for a cute face, but do you have a cute personality?" And I was like, "This is different," and I was like, just joking. I said, "Of course," and so. I was telling my cousin what to write, but she was typing way too slow, and I was like, move on.
Over, yeah.
And somehow we just started chatting, and it was for hours. And
So you kind of left out a key part of it is that she was in California in college, and I was in the military changing bases from Montana down to Florida. So I was here in North Carolina at my parents' house online because I was bored. So I just finished whooping them up in Spain. So,
Okay.
So because I got skills like that. I used to, not anymore. But anyway, so that's how we got online, and we started chatting from there because it was just out of boredom that our paths crossed.
Imagine that, using your free time to find your person.
Yeah, and it was in a chat room, so it wasn't a dating service. It wasn't even a thing back then.
Yeah.
What how long ago was this?
2000, 2001.
Yeah.
There we go. That was those were the days of the chat rooms and stuff like that. Between like AIM and all those other online ones. Yep. Remember those days. Remember those days. So, Joanne, for you at that point in time, were you actually looking for a relationship? Were you getting out of one? Like, what was that type of space for you where you're just like, I'm just chilling online?
I was it was an interesting situation. It was just someone I was seeing for like 2 years, but I was young. I just started college. I didn't know who I was, but either way, it was just like I guess we said we're just going to be friends.
Right.
But, I didn't really know what that meant, but I knew it wasn't like a strong relationship, so I wasn't looking for anything. But I wasn't necessarily really in a relationship. It was just a weird.
Right.
But I was just bored. But he caught my interest because he was actually trying to have a conversation. He didn't.
Nice. And Eddie, same for you. Like, what type of space were you in that kind of either I would say just relationship, seeking? Was that the type of time you was on then?
Man, so that's what's interesting was. So that was definitely in my younger years when I was very immature in my thinking.
Okay.
And I was coming off of a really bad relationship. So I was in a relationship with a rebound. And so it was kind of like I was just online to kill time. I wasn't looking for a relationship. And back then I was just dating in the immature way of just dating around but not trying to be serious because I never took marriage seriously. Because of how I saw marriages growing up.
Got it. And we'll touch on that a little bit later on in the conversation. So with the ideology
of online friendship, right? You guys both mentioned that the conversation lasted hours, you know. So how did it continue to blossom into, you know, that type of friendship given the circumstances of the distance?
Man, you use excellent terminology when you said friendship, because that's what it was. And that's, I have to give a lot of credit to the fact that we started out as friends before we became serious, because I didn't think, she wasn't my type. Back then, the old Eddie was looking for hood chicks and, you know, stuff that is into violence and, you know, stuff that's not good.
Yeah.
Right. I was into that, like not, you know, not necessarily a lady. I was looking for the wild, adventurous types that immature people usually think about. And so with her, I just bounced into her because I wasn't looking to date. It was just something to do.
Yep.
And we just had similar screen names. And she was different. Like, you know, she was different. And it intrigued me because just her personality was just pure. I could feel it through just the chatting. It's crazy. Just to feel someone's vibes through the chatting. And you know, like I said, it wasn't the cool thing to do is be online talking to some stranger.
Yes.
That was back before catfishing was even known.
Yes.
So I didn't know if this was some dude or something that I was talking to, you know, not knocking if people into that, but I ain't, you know, but, you know, I didn't know who she was, but it was intriguing. I was like, this is weird, but I like it. Like, who is this? And so the first chat, I think we talked probably till like, you had to go to school the next door, church or something.
No, I was on vacation.
Oh, but I know it's something that had to happen early in the morning. But we were chatting all night, all the way to early morning. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure I had somewhere to go or something, but I didn't care. I was like, I'll be tired doing it. So that's kind of how we did it all night. And then once we get logged off, it's kind of like back in the day when you be on the phone, like you hang up, no, you hang up. You know?
Online.
But online, you know, some
like,
kind of.
Oh, you're still on.
Yeah. Right. To where I don't know if she was doing it, but I would just log in just to see she in there.
Yeah, see that green light is on.
I did do that. Or I would go invisible.
Yeah.
So other people don't bother me, but I was waiting for his green light to come on.
Yeah.
So but we chatted a lot for a long time, but then eventually we started calling.
Yeah. It took a while for that though, because like I said, you weren't my type. I didn't like younger girls. She's 3 years younger than me. And she was too nice. Like I said, I didn't like nice girls. I didn't like that.
It's funny, you know, because I think what social media and society has gotten us into a place now compared to back then is we're so caught up in all of the physical.
Right.
But we don't take time to focus on not necessarily the spiritual, but I would say the more emotional. Like having that emotional connection to somebody and realizing how important the friendship part of a relationship is.
100.
Right? So I think, you know, the fact that started your foundation has definitely influenced, you know, where you guys are today.
Yeah.
Right? So now as you guys transition from mainly chatting and everything like that, what was the flow and the energy like once you started talking on the phone?
I can say it just was easy. It was easy to talk to him. And it was weird because I never met him in person. I never thought I would ever meet him in person because he's like on the other side of the country.
Yep.
But it was just really easy to talk. He was easy to talk to. It felt like we've been knowing each other
for a long time.
Yeah, but as we got to know each other, but yeah, to where I was like, I had opportunities to go hang out with my family, my friends, but it's kind of like I didn't want to because I wanted to wait for his call. You know, it was crazy. I never, but again, I wasn't looking for it. It was just it like organically happened.
Right. And it was like you're kind of just yearning just for the conversation and the presence, right? Because it was something different.
Yes.
Right. And how about you, Eddie?
I was in my so what? I don't know, early 20s. And so I was wild. So I was all about partying and not sleeping and just whatever. And so I was in a spring break area.
Okay.
And all my friends were going out And I was like, nah, y'all go. I'm staying here because I'm gonna chat online. Man, they clown me so much, man. They would call me lame and all that stuff. But I was like, I didn't care because I was like, this girl's different. So it was like she said, I was eager to talk to her as much as I could because I wouldn't say it was love per se, but it was something like, yo, she's different than any other lady I ever met.
Right.
And you know, I know it sounds cheesy, but like it kind of felt like, yo, this might be my soulmate because like she don't line up with nothing that I'm used to, nothing I've ever seen.
Right.
This is different, and it's not even a physical thing; it's a spirit.
Yes.
You know, her heart, how she, like all the stuff that all the non-tangibles.
Okay.
You know, it's like I can't really explain what it is, but she was that. I didn't know I needed it, didn't know it would work for me. Because like I said, she was the total opposite of everything I was looking for. But
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Now, for you, having that understanding of yourself in the moment, of what it is that you thought you wanted, right? How long did it transition? How long did it take to transition to, I really want to just focus solely on her?
Yeah, so like I said, I was in the military and I was on a deployment.
Okay.
She was dating someone. I was dating someone. But I was deployed for, I think that was a 3-month one. And I was gone for 3 months and I wasn't hearing nothing from people that, I wasn't getting correspondence from people like I thought. So they would deliver the mail to people and I'm sitting there waiting like, yo, I'm going to get some mail or something. Wouldn't get nothing. And so, it's cool because people got busy. As a older person now, I get it. People got life. They ain't thinking about me.
Right.
They got bills and stuff to worry about.
Out of sight, out of mind as
Yeah,
well.
but I was kind of feeling some kind of way. Like, man, like the people who my girl ain't really reaching out to me like talking about, and family ain't really reaching out like talking about. But all of a sudden I get a mail call one day and I get a box, a care package. And it's from her. She ain't even my girl. And she just sent me a care package to show that, hey, how you doing out there?
I'm thinking of you.
And I'm thinking about you. I was like, yo, this girl, she cares. I'm like, who is this? And that's when she got on my radar. I'm like, I need to see what's going on.
Right.
And so that was the moment that I was like, okay, let's see. This might go next level. Because I wasn't looking, but I was like, okay, now you're on my radar.
And Joanna, what was that thought process for you? Because as you can hear the reaction of him getting it, what was the thought process for you to just go out and make that happen?
Honestly, I did not think it would be that much of an impact. Like, well, I don't know. When you first time you talked about it, it was some years back. I actually forgot that I did it. But I think at the process, I was just hoping that he's okay. I didn't know where he was, but I just wanted to make sure, like, is he alive? Like, again, I still didn't think I'd ever meet him in person, but I was just, I hope he's okay. And I just wanted him to know it. Someone's thinking about him. Like, but it didn't have to be, I didn't think it would be me and him going next level. I don't think it was still that, but he was always in my mind, though.
But see, that's what I'm saying about her. It's like she wasn't trying to be, romantic or care. It just naturally is who she is, and she just did it because that's who she is. Yeah, there was no agenda behind it. It was just like, oh, let me send this to him to show him, like, hey, are you all right? Here's a little something, because she's a giver. Yeah, and that's one of the things I think that helps us to stay, still feel like we dating, and we, years into this, decades into this. So it's great.
That's so awesome because I think. And again, I'll probably wrap up with that. But I think, especially for any of you that are single or just out there, trying to find your Mr. Right or Mrs. Right, sometimes just the innocent thoughts or feelings and you act upon it, you never know what that type of impact is not going to have on the other person, but also what it's going to have on your relationship, right? Mm-hmm. Because I think we end up finding ways to fall in love with the uniqueness of the person that doesn't check all the boxes that we thought that we wanted. Right? So yeah, take notes because this is pretty dope. This is dope. Now let's fast forward a little bit. So the majority of from the first message to the care package, about how much time has passed since?
So that's what's funny, right? Because she was on the West Coast, I was on the East Coast. We were just living our own separate lives, just kind of like, like you tap in every night, hey, how you doing? What's up? Send a text or email and not think nothing about it. And that was it. But I would say the care package happened, I would have to say probably like at least 6 months or so. Like it wasn't, like I think I texted her right before I left for the deployment just to let her know I was gone. So therefore, if she ain't hear from me, that's why.
That's why, right.
And obviously I knew where to send it.
Right.
Right.
So I probably gave you the mail address. So that's why it was shocking. Because it had been a minute since we had, exchanged any kind of communication. So the fact that came, that blew my mind because I'm like, she think about me and I'm like, she's living her life.
Right.
Like the people supposed to be thinking about me.
They living their life.
They living their life. Like, that's crazy.
So, and the reason I asked that is now leading into how was the first reaction when you guys even started planning on meeting in person for the first time?
I just laugh because I think the people around me, my friends, my girlfriends in college, and my family, they kind of thought it was crazy because just the fact I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna meet this guy and this guy you call King, like his last name, like I'm like I've been talking to him for how long, and I'm actually gonna meet him. Like it was honestly it was very distracting for school because I just couldn't believe we're gonna meet. I was really excited, and then I had an exam in one of my classes right before I was going to go pick him up from the airport for the first time. And I have no clue. I can't tell you what class it was for. If I passed it, I was just like, let me check the boxes.
And I gotta go.
Went to the airport. And of course I was nervous.
Right.
Because, again, like, I didn't know catfish was a term. It wasn't back then.
Right.
But it's like, is this really the person I've seen in pictures I talked to on the phone?
Gonna get kidnapped.
Right.
So
Yeah, all of
I
that.
tell my girlfriends, this is where I'm gonna be at,
Yep.
But it was just, it was just full of emotions, excited, but it's like a little nervous.
Yeah.
But when I met him, it was just, I was still nervous, of course, and I didn't know where this was going.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I still didn't have that thoughts of like, oh, we're gonna date, because I'm like, he's cross country, like, how's this gonna work? Really, I didn't even get that far in my thinking. I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't wait.
Right.
But it was exciting to meet him in person. And he felt much taller than I thought. I didn't expect I didn't know what 6'4" was like.
Got it. Okay.
Lovebirds, if you're ready to take your business to the next level and grow smarter, check out Go High Level. It's an all-in-one platform for marketing, sales, and automation, saving you time while boosting results. Hit the link in the description box below and take your business to the next level. Now back to the details.
Eddie, what's your perspective on, leaving, your base, jumping on the plane and heading to Cali?
Bro. So she skipped something. So she's talking about the actual successful meeting.
Oh,
we had a meeting where I tried to come out in the fall.
That's right.
For her birthday or something when we first started talking or something like that. I can't remember. But it was in the fall for sure because it was hurricane season. And I was in Florida. And so therefore it was always, bad weather that's stopping and delaying flights.
Yes.
And so I had one weekend free. I was like, well, I'm just gonna go hop on this plane real quick and go holler at her real quick. And man, it was the worst thing ever to where I had to take a little hop flight from Florida to Atlanta. Well, the storm made my flight be delayed, and I had a short window to go exchange planes in Atlanta.
Oh.
And so my mind and my gut said, don't get on that plane. But I was like, nah, man, I'm gonna go. And so I got on the plane anyway. It was delayed, and we got to Atlanta. I missed my connecting flight. And as I had to go to the desk to go and reschedule or try and get another flight, I took out my military ID card out of my wallet, and some kind of way it flew out of my hand behind the ticket desk, the ticket counter, and went into a little crack like this. Like if I tried to do it on purpose, I could never do it again.
Can't recreate that.
Right. And it got in between where the conveyor belt where your luggage goes, it went in there. And it requires a special tool. It requires a special tool to unhook it, and the person that has a special tool had just left for the weekend.
Oh my gosh!
And so I ended up having to sleep on the floor in the Atlanta airport, and then one of my homeboys had to come drive 5 hours from base to come get me because I had to report back to duty on Monday.
Oh, because you were just trying to do a quick weekend, go out and come right back.
Yeah, and so I took that as an omen. I was like, this girl is trouble. I ain't never gonna see her. So fast forward to what she's talking about. When we finally met, it made it extra special because I was kind of giving up. I was like, that's a sign. Like, I don't think it's supposed to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
But in hindsight, I think that it was actually some kind of force trying to make it not happen, because things have been so wonderful ever since we pushed through that to go ahead and try again.
Got it.
Yeah, so it was great to see her after that first try. I was like, I don't think this is it.
Yeah.
But then when we actually met, man, it was magical. It was like something from a movie, for real.
Ooh.
It really was.
And now, when you had all of that going on, because again, this is just around the time where cell phones started becoming popular, right?
Yeah.
How was, Joanna, how was that kind of communication of, because again, we're still in that space of, I guess, the early stages of catfishing, right? So it's like, okay, I'm coming and then now I'm not coming, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, how was that, you know, I guess, relaying of the communicating back and forth? Did it like make you uneasy or anything?
I just really thought, like, well, I guess it's not meant to be. And I was just like, I mean, as much as I would love to have met him, but I just really was like, well, I guess it's not going to happen. And I thought, like, oh, he's definitely not trying to come see me again after all that he went through. I felt bad that he did go through that, but I'm like, he's never going to try that again.
But you got to put some more context to that, to where I was having trust issues, to where like I was heartbroken from previous relationship, to where like I wasn't trying to put too much in and be too vulnerable. Right. So therefore I was like, this is too much effort. I'm done.
Right.
So I was kind of like that.
This is too hard.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna put that
right.
effort.
Like kind of sheltered my feelings. Where I'm like, yo, I'm putting too much into this. Like I look desperate. It's lame. I'm out. So it's kind of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So at least for you, what either transpired or just happened for you to kind of push past that type of doubt?
It was different because it's kind of like, I would kind of say like, if say for instance you were looking for a something unique, like in a haystack, like whether it's a needle in the haystack or some treasure in the haystack, but you're trying to look for something. All you see is this hay everywhere. But I see this little sparkle. I'm like, man, there's so much hay, but I see something down there. Let me keep digging. Like, I'm tired, but I'm going to keep digging. So it's kind of like that kind of energy.
Yep.
To where I'm like, I don't really know what it is about it, but I got to keep going. Even though I want to give up because I'm like, this is too much work. It's like, I'm that kind of guy. I'm a hard worker, but I'm going to do it the easiest way possible. And if it's too much work, that means like, this ain't for me.
Work smart, not hard.
Yeah, bro.
I get that. So we now get to the point that you guys meet up, you get to hang out. How long was that first trip out to Cali? How long did you get to stay?
That was just a weekend. It was another weekend, man. So it was because she was having a college Valentine's Day dance.
Yeah, so I went to a private school in college, all-girls school, and we had a winter ball, and it landed on Valentine's Day. Ooh. And I couldn't think of anyone else to invite, so I invited him. Again, I still didn't meet him in person yet. So that's actually, after the time that it failed, he couldn't make it out, then we continued talking on the phone.
Right.
But again, we weren't actively we were just being friends.
Yep.
But then I thought, oh, let me invite him to this dance and let's see if he comes. And
were you with your ex already still? I think I broke up because I know I broke up with mine.
Yeah.
I broke up.
And yeah, so he was my date, and I introduced him to all my friends, and they're excited, like, oh, this is the guy. And that's why we said it was like magical, because like we got dressed up and all that stuff, and like it really, like when we had our first dance. Do you remember this song?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was that You know, it's Casey and JoJo all my life.
Yeah.
You know, that
Oh
was the
my
hit,
gosh.
right?
Oh
You
my
know that was
gosh.
big back then.
Yes.
And so when we were dancing, literally, I felt like everything else around us, it was just disappeared. It was just us. It felt like we were in a movie.
Goodness.
Like really, it was really magical. Like
And the DJ was lame, so therefore
I know it was
it was
not great.
Yeah, it was not a good DJ. And so when that song came on, she was like, let's go, dance to this. And then it was just because I was trying to have fun, but then it got romantic with that song, and it was like, yo, the world really slowed down. It's like in those movies where you see somebody looking in their eyes, and
Everything is spinning, and it's just them.
It was that, man, for real. It was really that.
really.
Yeah. And so that's the kind of vibes that was happening that day. So yeah.
Yeah, and then that weekend I took him home to meet my family. Yeah. And I'm like, this is the guy of mine. He met my whole family.
She has 2 older brothers.
And my dad, my mom, my grandmother, my aunt, my cousins, like everybody was there. And I didn't plan. I don't think I planned it beforehand.
It just happened.
Yeah, and he was okay with it. Of course, I asked him, "Are you okay to meet my family?" Since he's here again,
Weird,
I didn't think he would come back.
It was weird, like, yo, I just met you for the first time. Meet your family.
Yeah, but they loved him. Well, most of them.
It happens that way.
My grandmother,
I just like that
God
song.
rest her soul, like she gave him
The tough
literally,
love.
yeah.
Bruh.
It just basically was like, you hurt my granddaughter, I give you this. And she's like just smiling,
Right.
looking up at him. But really though, the next time she met him, she was all over him, hugging him. But really, like, he was embraced.
Mm-hmm.
And I was shocked. I really didn't know what to expect.
I added the fact of her having 2 older brothers because that was my I was like, she got a dad and 2 older brothers. Her oldest brother is what, 10 years older than you?
Yeah, they're 10 and 7 years older.
So I'm like, man,
So I'm the little girl.
Yeah,
Right.
and their protective nature is on a high, especially because of your guys' dynamic.
right.
Yeah.
Like, who's this dude? This strange guy. But when I got there, I tell you, they weren't the problems. That's why I know it was working out because I'm like, they weren't the problems. It was the grandma. and she's like, not like me and the brothers, we clicked. Me and her dad, we clicked. Her mom's not so much, but I get it. It's like her little girl,
Right.
Yes,
Yes. But I didn't do well. I mean, I didn't do bad, so it was cool.
Yeah.
Good. Are you the only girl?
Yeah.
And
I think my mom's reservations was this 2020. So like all those stories. So she had to make sure, is that gonna be your story?
yeah. You don't want to be the news. Just
Right.
watch the news.
Right.
But once she got to know him, she was good.
Gotcha. So now you have, this great first interaction, this great first weekend. What were the conversations after you went back to your norm?
Man, I couldn't stop thinking about it, honestly. She honestly messed up my career. Because after that, I was like, I don't want to be in the military no more. Like,
right?
I'm trying to be with her. And so, I couldn't stop thinking about it. So at that time, I had no bills, no responsibilities, and I was making pretty decent money. And so I used to start flying her back to see me. So we were trying to do no more than 6 months apart. So every 6 months at least, I would fly her or I'll fly to her.
I think we need to back up though, because I feel like, I don't know if it's our first conversation since him going back home.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember there was this conversation where like, so what are we doing? Is this for real? Is this a thing?
Right, that was true.
And that's when we were like, let's do it. So then we just became a couple, like at least a week after.
You're right.
After getting back.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
So that's where it really it was official.
Right.
Okay. Now, you mentioned your girlfriends and, roommates and everything like that. And it's a question for both of you. What was whoever was your circle at the time, what were their either thoughts or advice with that dynamic blossoming?
You want me to go first?
Mm-hmm.
So again, military guy, we wild. We ain't thinking about no loyalty or nothing like that. We just think about mission and then partying.
Yep.
And so all my friends at the time, like again, these are the same friends that were clowning me when I didn't want to go party in spring break, I'm at the house on the phone with her,
Right.
or whatever, you know.
Mhm.
And so they're like, man, like for real, like you spending all your time with her, man. But man, we could be partying. I was like, yeah, but I don't need to. I found what I'm looking for. It's right here. And so they weren't necessarily giving good advice about, settling down and none of that, because we're all in our 20s.
Right.
So that's why it's important to have some people in different layers. So where you need to have your friends that's on the same level, you have some friends that's not on your level, and then some that's higher than you that can mentor you. I didn't have no mentorship other than my supervisors, and they were all divorced and whatever. So they would think about, let's go party too. So therefore, I wasn't around any positive things. That's why I didn't have a good look on marriage, because most people around me were not happily married or successfully married. So therefore, that was not necessarily good advice. But I wouldn't say wise enough or fortunate enough to know that I'm like, yeah, it's nice, but I'm gonna keep doing me.
Yeah.
Like no matter what their response to. Now it wasn't like it was trying to break us up or nothing.
Right.
But they were being selfish because I was the party guy. So where like I'm like, yo, when we go out, we're gonna have a good time and I'm gonna spend some money.
Right.
And so people like me going out, but when I stopped going, they had to spend their own money. so it is what it is.
Right. And then for you?
I think for me it was positive. At least my girlfriends.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember one of my friends, though, she did have a conversation with me, like, because we had different faith backgrounds at the time.
Okay.
And so she just asked, like, how's that gonna work out? But that wasn't like really a problem or anything. But yeah, I think my circle, they were supportive. I think they just wanted to see me happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Not
So
to say that we have good friends. Like, I mean,
Oh,
overall, they were good
yeah.
friends. It wasn't like not necessarily negative. It's just young people being young.
yeah, and you can't, especially in that time frame, you can't fault them for thinking the way that they are, right? Because also too, in their own realm of world, they're also just figuring out themselves.
That's it, man.
Yeah.
Right. So they're not going to be in the frame of mind to be thinking of settling down and focusing on one person and figuring out how to make things work. They just wanted to worry about tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They weren't even worried about tomorrow or the weekend. It's just tonight. What are we doing?
Well, that's it.
And what are we doing?
That's right. What are we gonna go get into?
Yes.
It.
All of that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So now fast forward a little bit to. Actually, you mentioned the change of career. Like what? Because I know that for you, there was a lot of. You knew already that there was going to take a major change, right, to make this work out the way that you wanted to, right? What were some of those conversations with yourself to get to that point that, all right, we're going to be in the same place in X amount of time?
So it's kind of similar to your story, where you just at a young age you already knew some of your standards of what you wanted out of life.
Yes.
Same for me. Even though I was U.S. property in the military, to where pretty much if they didn't issue a wife, that means it's not that important. And so that's why military spouses are kind of rough to be.
Yep.
And I already knew that when I find that one, I'm not going to stay in the military when I find that one, because I see too many households get broken up. So I think I learned in that moment, when I started getting serious about her and her serious about me, was that I started learning about sacrifice for one another. And so therefore I was willing to sacrifice my hopes and dreams to make sure this works. And so I had already decided I'm not going to re-enlist, and we were going to move. We weren't going to get married and stay where I was. So I was like, man, it's too much drama. We got to go. I don't want nobody trying to mess it up. I don't think nobody would, but just in case.
Yeah, protecting your peace.
Yeah, so that's exactly it. Protecting peace, because I don't want to be drawn back into the party life.
Right.
Or it's a new season, so let's do something new somewhere else.
Yes. Yes. And when that transition was taking place, Joanna, what was your thought process on seeing him and hearing him think in that light for you?
I was pretty amazed, really, like that he was willing to make such a big change, and I knew why he was doing it, because he basically wanted to protect like what we could be starting together.
Right.
He was very forward thinking, and he's a planner. Back then, I
Virgo.
was not. I was still very young-minded. I wasn't thinking too far. I mean, like really, I was still in college. I was trying to finish up college, but I was like, wow, he's making a huge change for me. And really, like so we were living cross country, but he left it up to me where he lived. So I said, like, I was born and raised in California, never been anywhere else. And before him, I would never have thought to leave California. Like, why would I leave California?
Right.
But when I met him, it's just like, why not? He helped me realize the world is too big to stay in one
state.
And he's from North Carolina, and he just told me great things about it. And knowing that he was away from his family a long time, I was just like, well, let's live near his family, so that way he can be close to his family, because I've been with my family all this time. And it sounds great, so sure. And I'd never been to North Carolina yet at the time. So I just trusted him. Like, and it's crazy, like, how it was easy to really trust him. Like, I could trust, like, what he says. Like,
right.
He means what he said. So it meant a lot. And I can, just the way he treats me, like, when we're in person or over, like, distance, I can feel the respect.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I feel like I didn't really get that before in my past. But I felt like he really valued me, even before I really valued myself.
Right. I think that's definitely powerful that, again, even before being together full time, even before being married, there's a lot of compromising going on in a positive way.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think so many people think negatively of the word compromise. They always think that they're losing something.
Right.
But in the relationship space, a compromise is a gain. It's a positive.
Yeah.
Right? And because of that, it allowed for both of you to experience something at such a higher level that everybody else didn't matter.
That's it.
Right?
That's it.
So once you guys, got through those conversations, you made your move, and then boom, you're together. Now with the full-time experience of being with one another, what was that new era, new chapter like?
Bruh, she was never the problem. It's me. Because I've been on my own since I was 17, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
And so between that little gap of 6-7 years, like I had lived in 10 different places around the world.
Wow.
And so in that little short time span of, 17 to 23, whenever we started getting kind of serious, and then we got married, it took a while for me to be like, okay, this is not my space, it's our space, And so I had to die to self a lot of like, I'm used to this being this way, like the dishes. Should tell you about that. Like the dishes. Like, this is not my space, this is our space.
Yeah.
And so I had to learn how to compromise and just learn how to like, kind of, because also like in that time frame too, I was a manager a lot in the military. So therefore I'm used to telling people what to do. Right.
Yes.
But I had to turn it off because I'm like, she's an adult and it's my wife. She ain't my employee or my subordinate.
Yes.
So therefore I had to learn how to shift my mindset from military stuff, because that's all I knew as an adult.
Yep.
To being like, we are companions.
Yes.
And I don't own her, she don't own me. We're in this together.
Right. That's, man, that is another, kind of gem, because I think in the relationship space, we may not all try to agree, but ego plays a big role in navigating different storms, because you have two individuals, two different upbringings, two different cultures, lifestyles, all of those things, now trying to mesh as one. right? And not everything is going to be like that perfect puzzle piece, right? There's going to be some work to try to jiggle it to make it,
Mhm.
you know, come together. So, you know, and I think it's commendable for you to have that self-realization that you kind of had to change, because I think there's a lot of that we probably miss out on, you know, when we're in those early stages of, you know, dating, going into courting, right? And then when you add the dynamic of sharing a space together as well, you're really not just learning your partner, you're learning yourself.
Man.
Yeah.
Yes. I can even add to that is like the problem that was my main problem is I don't know if you're the same as a Virgo, but for me, I don't like nobody telling me what to do. But I was in the military.
See, I don't know how you did that, because
I don't either.
I said no from jump. Like, you're not going to talk to me any type of way. You're not going to tell me what to do all the time. So
Bro.
I understand that. But also, even as a young man, because like now when you're in that age of, you know, pretty much getting out of college, but also becoming a young adult, figuring out life, I would say that 21 to 25, there's I can't think of another word, but macho. There's like a macho-ness, a bravado
100%.
that you just naturally have, regardless of what you're doing with yourself.
Yep.
You have that, and you're just like, oh, I'm gonna do what I want to do now.
Yeah.
Especially when you're out of the house,
Man.
you don't have no rules,
Yes.
right? So it's just like, yeah, nobody's gonna tell me what to do,
Yes.
right? But again, when you're now transitioning to a space that you don't really know too much about,
Yeah.
right? Because of, you know, being on your own, you being in school, and just being around all females, right? Because, you know, there's different dynamics in that as well, that you kind of have to shape shift a little bit and transition into who you you know are supposed to be becoming, right? So as you're now navigating, you know, that space internally, I guess when you had those thoughts, were you guys already married or about to?
We were already married. So the hardest part, like up until we ate that wedding cake, no problem. But that wedding cake did something to me, man, to where it's like it caused my body to try and reject the thing that I really wanted so much. It's like when I ate the wedding cake, it was like, okay, I got the prize, but is this what I want?
Right.
And then you start having these second guesses and things like some people have, what is it, you know, when people
Buyer's remorse.
yeah, that kind of stuff. It wasn't none she did. It was just that
You
know, that and the thing that kind of led up to me knowing, like, so to kind of backtrack just a little bit,
Yep.
the thing that helped us to get married, we weren't even together when I proposed to her. We had broken up.
Oh yeah, I forgot that.
Whoa.
Yeah, we weren't even together.
Let's unpack that. Like, how did you, you know, get from, you know, being broken up to like, I don't want to lose her?
So again, I didn't date younger girls because I was like, do you really know what you want? Because that's kind of what happened to me in my previous relationships, is that here we are in a relationship and they're with me, but not really certain about what they want.
And they're not thinking farther enough down the road for you.
Yeah, and so they end up changing their mind, and then next thing you know, we're broken up. After I'm putting all into it, but they off with somebody else, you know. And so I didn't want that with her because, like, we had already talked about it a lot. And I was like, you know, at this season, you're in college. I've been with you since you got to college. You haven't had the full college experience of being free, like not thinking about like, oh, somebody, I have to stay here, or I can't go and date and make sure that, you know, this is what I want. Right. So me, it might be dumb, but I really was like, let me make sure, because I believe in my heart, what's for me is for me. So therefore, I'm gonna let you go. So therefore, you can go and date and see if I'm who you want, and then the same for me if I find somebody else. So it's kind of like, I wouldn't say it's like an open relationship per se, but it's kind of was. So where it's like we were kind of together, but not.
Actually, I think we weren't together, but we stayed in touch. We
Right.
were still friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amicable. It wasn't like we were mad or nothing. It was just that
Yeah.
I didn't know if we were ready. So I was like, let's break up. And, you know, if you want to date somebody, cool. I don't want to know about it. And same thing, if I date somebody, I ain't going to tell you about it. And so that's kind of how it was. And I don't know how long that was, but I got him. I wanted to do something special for her birthday. And so I was planning a trip to go see her for her birthday, but I came home first. And my parents just so happened to go to the mall to buy my mom a new piece of jewelry. So we was in a jewelry store with my parents, and while they're looking for whatever they're looking for, I'm just walking around the store and I see my wife's ring, and I look at it and it kind of spoke to me. I was like, huh. Again, we ain't together.
Right.
I don't even believe in marriage like that. But I'm looking at it and it just stuck in my mind. So anyway, my parents buy their ring and we're walking out the store and my mom stops to go get something at the food court. So it's just me and my dad. And this changed my life and my perspective about marriage and really relationship, to where I was like asking my dad, I was like, how do you know? I was like, there's so many women out here. And I was like, how do you know that you got the best one? And my dad, mind you, he's my stepdad. He's my stepdad. He came along when I was 10. So he helped me a lot to not be a knucklehead.
Okay.
Because I was in knucklehead mode whenever I met him.
Okay.
Down in Louisiana.
Right.
But anyway, he sat me down, and he's been previously married, and he was like, you know, there's no such thing as the best one. It's only the best one for you. And when he said that, that resonated with me. I was like, that's true, because in a man's mind is nothing better than what you have than something new. Like whether it's some shoes, whether it's a car, whether it's a video game, whether it's, you know, whatever it is. Like a man, you can have a drill, the best power drill that's working, but if they come out with something new,
you want it.
You want it, or the latest phone. Like your phone works just fine, but you want the newest one.
Yes.
Why? Because it says it's shiny and it's new, but it does the same thing. Call, text, same thing.
Yes.
And so when I heard that, I went back and got the ring, and we weren't even together. I bought a ring. I was like, I'm gonna have this for my wife, because I didn't know if it would be her, but I had it for me. And so anyway, fast forward back to now. I flew out to see her for her birthday, and the morning of her birthday party, I didn't even know God like that, but I wasn't religious or nothing like that. But I said a little prayer, like, you know, like if let me know if this is my wife. Let me know while I'm here. So I brought the ring with me to her party. I didn't know if I was going to propose to her or not, but it was something about me seeing her interacting with her friends and family to where I looked at her, and it was like something like, that's your woman. Do it. And so I walked over, asked her dad for her hand in marriage. And it was funny was I was trying to ask her mom, but her mom was just like, it seemed like she was intentional, like she knew that I was about to, and she was trying to avoid it. I don't know if she was trying to, but she would not be alone so I could talk to her. Like every time I got to her, she'd like take off. Wow. And it wasn't like she was avoiding me on purpose. I don't think so. But it's like I couldn't get her, so I was like, well, I'm not, whatever. I got it from the dad.
Yeah.
And so I went over to her best friend, and I handed her a camcorder. I was like, hey, I'm about to propose to. I was like, you can't say nothing, but I'm about to propose to Joanna. She's like, oh, shut up! And she didn't have to be quiet. And then so I went over and proposed, and she was the only person that knew. Her and her dad.
She had the camcorder.
And she had a camcorder, so she recorded it. So it happened when we were broken up. And
so
here we are.
you proposed in front of my family, which is perfect because my family, my friends were there.
Right.
I mean, it's important his family wasn't there, but that's why he had the camcorder. But yeah, of course, I had no idea. Again, we weren't together. We were just friends.
And now, in your headspace, when that's going on, what were some of the emotions and thoughts that was going through your mind in that moment?
I think I said it too. I was like, oh my gosh, this isn't happening. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. But I was, I immediately said yes. I mean, I was crying, bawling, crying. And I somehow said yes because I was so busy crying because I was just happy and in shock. But I knew, like, absolutely I want to be married to him. I honestly don't remember. Did we have conversations about it? Well, he didn't mention it before though. Like as we were dating or talking or whatever, he was always interviewing. So really,
yes, like this, how you? That's how I was doing her with no camera.
Asked me questions.
Yes.
And so I guess he was, gaining intel, and me, I'm just like, okay, I'll answer questions. But
because I don't know what marriage looked like, so I don't know what a wife looks like necessarily. So therefore, I want to know. I'm trying to figure out who you are and see if I'm interested.
But it was great though because we really got to know each other and like thinking about goals and all that stuff. Yeah. But I honestly can't remember if we talked about marriage already.
I'm pretty sure we did. I think I was probably throwing out to see what you would say. Yeah, I probably wasn't serious.
Gotcha.
Lovebirds. If you're ready to feel calmer, sleep better, and recharge your energy? Check out my friends at Grounding Well. Their grounding mats make it easy to bring balance and wellness right into your home. Hit the link in the description below and start grounding today. Now back to the details.
So there was a few times, Eddie, that you mentioned that you didn't value marriage, you didn't think about marriage, you didn't even really necessarily was, out there looking for marriage. What do you think, outside of the conversation with your stepdad, what do you think that motivation and that change of heart came from?
Man, that's a good question. So a lot happened in my life, man. Like I had a lot of ups and downs. I had a good life. Don't get me wrong. Like I ain't trying to act like I'm about to make me a rap song or something like that. Talk about all my hardships. I had a good life overall, but just like anybody, like life is hard. Like just in your own way. Yeah. And so, I didn't really know. I didn't know anything about what this thing that we had going on was. I didn't know anything about it. Like my mom, she was my best friend at the time. And so therefore that was my lady. I could call her whenever I need something and talk to her and whatever and give me advice. And, that was cool. So therefore I was dating, like at the time, before I met her, I was dating, trying to find my spouse, right? And nothing filled that emptiness, but she did, right? I didn't know. I didn't know. But what it was she was showing me how to love. So therefore I could let my guards down and be vulnerable. And for me to pour into something 100%, and then she pours in 100% too. So it's no 50-50, it's 100%. Like I give you 100%. And like, it sometimes my 100 might not look like your 100, but I'm giving you all I can at the moment because I'm tired or worn out or whatever. Yeah. But in hers is more. It's I can't explain it. My math don't math, but it works.
Yes, and I think that's the important part of doing what works and what makes sense for you guys. Because I think there's a lot of times we would, put a particular couple, whoever the couple is, on a pedestal, and then you chase for that. And then when it doesn't happen the way that it's happening for them, there's the disappointment. But what are you disappointed about? Because you don't know what it took for them to get to that point. Right? So it's, what do I need to do to work through our stuff, my stuff, right? To get to the point of having the happiness that's going to work, the success. Because I think success needs to be measured just by the two people involved.
That's it. You done preached already, man. That's it.
Appreciate that. Yeah, but I think, having the emotional intelligence to tap into yourself and get the understanding that you need, to also slow things down in your mind, to get to the point of, all right, I actually want to see this through, because although I didn't have, when this whole thing started, I didn't really have, the greatest outlook, but I'm trying to create my own.
Right. I don't know what it looked like, but I'm trying to create my own, just like you said. That's perfect.
So I think that, that's pretty solid. And again, for those still following along, especially for those that are, single and dating, take that time to, just dive into yourself, right? Because the future you is going to thank you for doing so, right? So now as we shift gears to the second part of our conversation, which I'm definitely interested now, as far as your favorite everything, right? Your favorite moment together, your favorite date, your favorite gift, favorite dinner. Like, when you kind of hear of those things, what are some of the things that come to both of your minds?
Well, first thing that pops to my mind, the favorite gift was my birthday gift when he proposed to me.
Oh yeah, well, not many things could beat that.
But I don't know. You have something?
I mean, so I have to say, oh man, we got a bunch of favorites because we really enjoy each other. Like, this is not fake. Like, we really enjoy. That's my best friend, and that's the hardest thing is that people don't understand. Like, in culture, one of the things I find with people is that we're taught like, oh, I have my wife and then I have my best friend. Like, no, my wife is my best friend.
Yes.
Like some of my friends, they like, like, man, we need to have a guys trip. I was like, that's cool if my wife would come, because I'm not coming if my wife ain't coming. Because whatever you're trying to do, if my wife can't be there, I don't want to do it.
I don't want to do it. I don't want to be there. I want to be involved.
Same here.
Ooh, I like
I
that.
want to do it. That's my best friend. So everything that I do with her is my favorite. Like us just waking up in the morning and having a morning tea and coffee and talking.
Saturday morning
Right.
walks.
That's it. Like, because we often reflect on how we got here. All the things that we've been through, and reflecting on that's how we got here. Keep it doing. Like, don't forget and take each other for granted.
I like that. What about? Well, actually, do you guys like cook, or do you eat out, or mix up the two?
Bruh, she got me, man. So that was one of my things that was a turn off to her about her. It's like, she don't cook.
Okay.
It's not that she don't want to. She can't.
Okay.
And she'll tell you because, so like, the thing that attracted me at first, I was like, oh man, she Filipino? Word. I'm about to give me some Filipino food. It's about to be good,
I
man.
can go pick it up. Come on.
Right. And I was thinking all of that. I was like, man, oh man, her parents are straight from the Philippines. Yo, we about to eat
Rub it
good,
up.
because that's how they do in their culture. The women be throwing down. Nope, not her. But it's cool, right? That was one of the things I had to die to self when we first married, because I always said, like, I can't marry a woman if she can't cook. I can't, because like, I want me a woman that can feed me, because men are simple. That's the thing that women don't know. I'm about to give y'all some knowledge, ladies. Men are simple. We only want 3 things, really. We want some food, we want some loving, married hopefully, and then we just want some peace and quiet. That's it. I'm not hard, and most men I know, that's all we really want. And so if you can feed me, I'm gonna be happy. And if you leave me alone, I'm gonna be even happier. Not to say that I don't like you.
Give me that me time.
Let me be quiet. And so when I found out that she tried, she has tried over the years. It's just that, trying.
It's so much strength.
Not her the strength. But
I was trying.
But I realized it's like, but I like to cook. So therefore I cook. And so my mama taught me that earlier in life, because like my mama, she worked a lot. So therefore sometimes when I'm hungry, she tired and she like, I ain't cooking. If you want to eat, the kitchen in there.
Right there, yeah.
So I learned how to cook. And so that I had to shift my mind from making her try and fit into my chef role. Like, I want you to cook, like that's what I look for in a wife. And then she would try, but then I'm being, I don't know how to say it. Not demanding per se.
Yeah,
Well,
a
when
little
you have
bossy.
when he has a taste for something,
Right.
he wants it to taste.
There's an urge. It's an urge. Yeah.
Right.
And
Right.
I usually don't meet that. It's like, oh, this is not what I was.
Yeah. Like, season is the thing. Like, you need to put some seasoning on it. Like, I'm from the South. We season food.
Right. I understand that. And again, that's another example of compromise.
Yeah.
Another great example of compromising, because you didn't allow it to mess up what you guys had going on. Still building up your wife, right? And not doing the tear down, because I think sometimes when we have those lofty expectations and they're not met, sometimes the delivery on what you want to say comes out in the wrong tone.
Yes.
Right? And then you have now created a problem that shouldn't be a problem.
Right.
Right.
The military make you not soft, and so therefore I could be harsh at times, just because that's in me, because a lot of my time.
Yes.
Like at the time, like most of my life was in the military by the time I met her.
Right.
And so it was hard for me to learn how to be gentle and kind and patient, all that kind of stuff. But the thing I can say is, though, even though she doesn't cook, she brings something that I need more than cooking, which is she supports me. She is so supportive as a spouse. Like, she is the perfect example of a helpmeet, of like, whatever I'm going after, she's supporting. Like, even if I fall on my face, she'll come pick me up. You did your best. You did horrible at fixing that, but you did a good job trying,
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm not the manly man and she's not necessarily the womanly woman, but together we come together in our weaknesses to make a good, strong unit.
Yes. I think that's another gem that is overlooked in the relationship conversations that are currently going on, right? Because of, I don't know, I think there's this focus on what the roles in a marriage should be, right? And everybody thinks and acts and discusses it as if it's a definitive thing.
Right.
And it's not.
Right.
The roles are what works for you two.
That's right.
What works for you two. Stick to it. Right? So now, and I know that there's probably a few things that probably will have a little overlap, but as we switch up to one of my favorite parts of even putting this podcast together, and just having the conversations with all of my couples, 3 little things. And the reason this means a lot to me, just so you guys know, the cover intro to my podcast, the melody is based on Ella Mae's song Little Things. And right after my wife passed, I had the opportunity to talk to some of my younger cousins. We went to hang out with them for Thanksgiving. And for some reason, the topic of conversation landed on Jason Tatum and Ella Mae, right? Because my younger girl cousin, that's one of her boo things, is Tatum, right? And it was news to me at the moment because obviously over the last few months at that point in time, anything going on in the outside world, I was oblivious to, right? So when they mentioned, because I really enjoy a lot of Ella Mae's songs, right? So, but also I'm a Laker fan, so like anything with any Celtics, I really don't want to hear. But there's something about Jason Tatum now that I love even more. But she mentioned, she was like, "Hey, Ella Mae just dropped a 3-song album." I was like, "For what?" "Oh, it's to announce that her and Jason Tatum are a thing." I said, "Wait, what? How did that happen?" Listen to the album. I said, "Okay." Went into the next room, put the album on, and Little Things is the 3rd song. And for me, one thing my wife used to say, "You're weird because you just only listen for the words." I'm like, well, that's what the song is for. It's for the words. You listen to the beat because you want to dance, but I want to actually feel it. And also, R&B was like a number 1 go-to genre for me outside of soca music being Caribbean. So I'm listening to the words of this song and I'm crying, right? Because in that moment, I realized how important those little things are, especially for me at that time.
Yeah.
Because it put me in almost like in a train car going down memory lane.
Not bad.
Right? And I truly felt in that moment like, oh, I need to start dwelling more on the little things that my wife used to do for me. Right? So I said, you know what? I'm going to incorporate that in every conversation I have on my podcast. So, Eddie, I'll start with you. Like, what's one little thing that Joanna does for you or has done for you in the past that probably wouldn't stand out to the regular average person, but it means everything to you?
Like I said, with my wife, man, it's very very loving how she really just pays attention to my needs. And it's not like some subservient thing. It's just that it's kind of like whatever I'm lacking, she tries to fulfill that. Ooh. Like so for instance, if I come home and I'm like in my feelings that day, she'll give me peace. Like she don't even say it. She'll see I'm in my I'm on one that day, so that's what she'll just turn around and go do something else. Or she'll just sit next to me until I'm ready to talk. Like she'll do those kind of things. Like to where whatever she'll read me to see whatever it is I'm needing, and she'll do it. Mm-hmm. So it's really nice, man.
Joanna, your turn. What is the first little thing that Eddie does or says or anything that means everything to you when he does it?
Honestly, it's kind of like what he mentioned just now, that he's very catering. Because we serve each other. Like how he mentioned his math doesn't math, 100, like it's like we both cater to each other. And he's never like, oh, I'm the man of the house, it's like nothing is it's not beneath him,
Right.
It's like, so I appreciate that so much. Like, yes, I'm supportive, but then he's also supports me too. And just even those little things, just everyday things like last week I wasn't feeling very well. And um, he just was giving me a bag of ice and putting my feet up and just all that, like those little things that came attention. I guess like the whole paying attention. I don't know if that's the second one, but he's very attentive.
We'll take it as a second.
Okay.
And I could probably, shed some light on that. It's also a typical Virgo tendency to pay attention to, reading those details, right?
Love is in the details.
You got it. But I think that's pretty dope that it's received very well from you, because I know for a fact that that's the intention behind what Eddie does. So number 2 for you, sir.
She is consistent. And what I mean by that is, like, I don't think I've ever met anybody like her when it comes to she is who she is all the time.
Right.
Like, it's not she doesn't do these roller coaster things like and it's human, but she don't do it. It's like how she is right now is how she always is. You can ask anybody that knows her, like, she's always the same. Very sweet, kind, gentle, loving, attentive, like all those things. It's like she's consistent. It's like, she don't have those times when she on one. Like, very little. I think, like, in the 25 years we've been together or interacting with one another, maybe 3 times she might have had a rough day to where I could see, like, yo, she messed up today. Get out her way. She don't. But that's about it. Like, she's very consistent. So I appreciate that. That makes my life easy, because therefore I don't have to be walking on eggshells, and I can actually, try and figure out what it is that I can do to help, if anything.
Right. That's huge. That's huge. And last one, Joanna.
Well, what comes to mind is he's funny. Like, he's really funny or silly. I think both.
Yep.
But he's he can always make me laugh. And that's definitely one of the many things that attracted me to him in the beginning. And through the years, I mean, we've been together a long time, and we both have grown separately and together. But he's still, like, he's fun, but like in a loving way.
Yes.
It's just like it's because he just wants to make people around him feel happy and feel good, because it really comes down to his caring heart. So he cares about people and he wants them to feel good. So if he can shed a smile, he's always up for that.
I mean, life is hard, right? Life is hard. And and in those moments, you got to find joy. Like, because life is beautiful. Like, life is a reason why there's trillions and zillions of people who never make it to have this thing called life. Like, they never make it. But you made it to where you're here, and to get to experience the ups and downs, the highs and lows, the sickness, the pains, all the stuff that this life endures, to make you appreciate every breath that you have. And so therefore, I like to use a lot of my breath laughing. That's it. Like, cracking jokes and acting a fool, because that's who I am. I'm crazy. I really am.
I actually thought of another one.
Go ahead.
A bonus one. I love his love for God.
Ooh.
And that's it's transformed through the years, but the reason I say that is because his love for God, it shows how he loves myself and our son. And that has honestly been a big backbone in our marriage. So that's true.
And that transformation, and it's not spooky, deep religious stuff. People try and make God like some kind of spooky religion. It's not.
Yeah. Like,
we all can't, whatever you want to call it, the universe, energy, whatever it is, that's what I'm talking about. And it's important to help you understand this stuff and why you go through things. You might not understand it now, but in hindsight, you understand why.
I agree with that.
I
agree with that. You got a bonus one as well?
Oh, man. She's a good wife, man. Like, I don't know what a good wife is. Not saying anything to anybody else that I know that are wives, but I know my wife. And I don't know what a good wife is, but whatever it is that. She don't necessarily, like, you know, it's like, man, like, I call her, she's a pretty dude. and what I mean by that is, like, no, she's not transgender or none of that stuff. Don't knock the people who are. But what I'm saying is that she is like a guy, like, what makes us best friends is, like, I could do something that most guys
want to do with other guys. She's cool. Like, I took her to an MMA fight. Like, does she care about that stuff? No. But she went. Like, or if I, you know, like, I take my son into the gym, we go play basketball. Does she? No. But she'll go out there and catch asthma attacks. She do it.
Yeah,
Right.
pretty much.
But she do it because she just want to support whatever it is that I want to do. Like I'm her king, she's my queen, right? And that's the thing I really appreciate about her is that whatever, I didn't know what a wife was, but God sent me her, and she fulfills whatever it is I didn't know I needed, because it helps me through all those times of the traumatic things that I've experienced in life. She helps me when I'm licking my wounds. Like when life beats me up, I can go home and know that she's not gonna beat me up too. Like, you know, a lot of stuff I've seen in my past with other girlfriends or whatever, she's a wife, and I hope that everybody can find that at some point, to at least experience it, so that way you can know what it means like to have a real relationship, not just a superficial of let me use this person. It's like, no, we are a team. We say Team King. We save the day.
Yeah.
Like, what does that mean? It means that whatever it is that we got to do, we do it together.
I love that. And I appreciate you guys being, very transparent and very sharing in your story, because I think there's a lot that can be unpacked, which I'll do right now in my Virgo view of your relationship. And starting from the beginning, I briefly touched on it, when you guys mentioned it, but the importance of the friendship. Foundationally speaking, if you don't have that, it's going to be very hard to navigate lifing.
That's it.
Right? Because there's always going to be curveballs. There's always going to be a roller coaster ride as you mature, as you have kids,
right,
as you buy a house, as you buy cars, as you watch your family members age.
Yes.
Right? As nowadays, different injuries and illnesses, kind of come out of the blue. When you have all of those things kind of rocking your world, the friendship is what's going to keep you guys together. And the fact that, your journey started in a long distance situation that blossomed into, hey, I'm not looking for anything, don't want anything, I don't even view marriage in a really good way. Now you're 25 years in. Right? And the common denominator in that, in my opinion and in my view of your conversation, is the fact that the friendship is where everything was grounded. Right? Another thing that I mentioned and touched on before is the ability to compromise. Because in my view, again, compromising isn't negative, because when you give up something for your partner, it's because you want to understand them more and be into that space that has something of interest to them. So although you may not turn around and like it and appreciate it the way that they do, you're still going to at least leave that opportunity to be open to learn more about it. Right? Because a lot of the times where you introduce something new, so like, for example, astrology was very new to me when my wife and I met. And the first thing she was like, oh, do you understand your sign? I said no. And a lot of times, and I've learned this in sales as well, when you hear no, it's not the N-O, it's the K-N-O-W. You just don't know enough about it.
Wow.
Right? So when you have that, when you start asking questions for understanding, you get to learn more about it. And now you don't get to shut it out, as much, right? So, piggybacking off of what you mentioned in your little things, my wife also, she introduced me to the astrology space, and it allowed me to learn about myself. But then she realized my love and passion for sports was something like it was just on the TV, and she didn't even care what was going on. But when she realized that all year round, like Whatever the going sport is, I'm following it, right? So it's not just basketball because I played it. I started learning the NFL because we didn't have American football in the Caribbean. So that was new to me when we started dating. So I'm watching it for understanding. She was just like, oh, I just know that everybody else is doing it, but I don't care what's going on the TV. We went from that to playing DraftKings and FanDuel and starting my own fantasy league and doing all that. And she was right there with me.
Whatever
right?
You're into, right? That's nice.
So that's where the compromise comes in, because again, you now gain something that you didn't have before when you first started dating. And then when you first get married, right? So the fact that you guys were able to even do those things without thinking about it being that, I think just adds to the connection that you now have, right? Yeah. Then when you get to the point of understanding yourselves, because I think sometimes, and you guys are great examples of that, when you're getting out of another relationship, sometimes we're so quick to get into another one without dissecting ourselves. And the fact that you took the time, even while, learning each other, you were still trying to figure out yourself at the same time. Because if you don't figure out yourself and figure out how to love yourself and what you need for yourself to feel love, you're not going to have the person that you need to have in front of you.
That's right.
And you're not going to appreciate them as well.
Right.
Right? So I think, you guys both having the wherewithal to weather all of those different storms that was, being thrown your way, and having all of those things kind of come together organically. Not many things was forced in a sense. You just allowed God to take control.
Yeah.
Right? And just point you in the direction that you needed to be, not where you wanted to be.
Right. That's it. It's like not my will, but His will. So therefore, I'm like, man, I don't understand it. Like, a lot of life circumstances, I don't know why I'm here. Like, I can tell you on deployments, I be sitting like, why am I here? Like, this ain't got nothing to do with me. Like, why did I sign up? I don't know. But at the end of the day, it was life lessons learned of what humanity is, all the beauty in it and all the ugliness in it.
Yes.
And so I took from that those circumstances of where I'm like in situations like, I don't know why I'm here. But now help me to get here to where like now I have empathy for whenever I hear somebody going through some really crazy, dangerous times or whatever. It's like, man, I get it. And I was like, but at the end of the day, just keep walking, one foot in front of the other, and then before you know it, time it'll pass, and the next thing you know, where you're supposed to be, where that was useful. You understand why you had to go through that moment, but then you're like, oh, this was at me to be prepared for this moment. Like right now with your situation, with the things that you were going through, and how that turned into this beautiful thing to where now you shining the light on the beautiful encounter that you had called marriage with your wife. Right. And the fact that you are still so full of it, like so full of that love that you encountered, to where you want other people to understand, like, this is the beauty in marriage and relationship when you actually pour into it and give it a try. Don't run from it.
Yes.
Get out the way and let it build. So this thing, the hardships of it all, it adds to whatever it is. Because who knows what your podcast is going to be doing for someone that's watching this that don't know, like, man, like, here is my spouse is sick or whatever it is. And I don't, or my spouse is locked up or whatever it is, or divorced, whatever it is, the life curves that happens, and be like, man, like, let me think about the things of why I love this person so much, and try and stay there for them till they get their mind together, like me, to where like I was going through some stuff to where this shouldn't have made it, because I was trying to self-sabotage.
Yes.
Just because that's just a natural thing when you don't know what this is. You're like, let me mess this up because it's going to mess up. Let me go ahead and do it.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, she stuck through it when I'm going through these changes, and she was patient.
Yep.
And then we made it through those bumpy, rocky roads, because you never know till you at that place of why.
Yes.
And now all this stuff we understand, like, like sometimes people are people and life is life. So just deal with it as it comes. Don't make too much of it. It is what it is.
Yes. And, and that ties into another, just thing that I picked up in this conversation is the emotional intelligence to self-reflect. Right? Because I think, especially from a husband or just male point of view, men don't do that enough. Right? And even the conversations that are happening, out there, and, for those that are having it, like, it's no shade or anything, but there are times that we as men deflect and almost blame women for not taking up accountability. But if you're saying that, there's some type of accountability that you also have to take up as well.
100%.
Right? So the fact that, you started to do that soul searching,
Yeah.
to find the reason why to stay and why to make it work and why to figure it out for yourself, which then in turn is going to impact the relationship that you have with your wife, I think is very key for making the tough times last.
Yeah.
Right? Well, you last through the tough times.
No.
Not at all. So I think a lot of, your story, I think a lot of viewers, regardless of what level of life they're in, what type of relationship they're in, I think the takeaway, many takeaways that they can, have from this, because, your story is probably very similar for today's, dating world, right? Because there are all of these dating apps, right? There is the trust that you kind of have to have. Blind trust, blind faith.
Yeah.
Like, okay, is this person real?
Real. And even if you see them as a real person, are they being real?
Yes, right? So there's so many questions that you have to ask. But when you trust your gut, when you trust whatever higher power you believe in, and you allow that to take control and not your physical mind, take control, beautiful things will come out of it.
Man.
Right? So I really appreciate this recollection of your journey, and just even sharing as well, because I know for some folks that, can be a little nerve-wracking, a little nerve-wracking to be a part of it. But, for the viewers out there, if you made it this long, thank you. And I hope you're, taking notes and being able to use, Joanna's, Eddie's story to motivate you to do that soul searching, to appreciate, because that's another thing that you guys mentioned, reflecting on, the good times that you have, because you just never know, right? And one thing that I want to leave everyone with, sometimes we think that we have time and we have tons of it, right? But you never know when that last time is going to be the last time. So make sure that your partner knows how much you love them, how much you appreciate them. Say it often, show it often, and you're going to see how it translates what your relationship turns into. So that's a wrap for this episode of Love in the Details. Again, thanks to Joanna and Eddie for sharing their story. Hopefully we'll be sharing yours one day as well. So like, share, comment, and stay tuned for the next episode of Love in the Details.
Yeah.
Peace.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in, lovebirds. Remember, love shines brightest in the little things. We'll see you next time on Love in the Details.